7 days! We did it! BookTubeAthon day 7! Although, I didn't finish quite yet, but calculating, I should be able to finish my 7th book by tonight, before midnight. Today's challenge, not a challenge, personal story challenge, is brought to us by our leader of BookTubeAthon, Ariel, and her challenge video and her channel are linked down below. So today's video, it's not so much a challenge, more as it is tell your personal story of something that meant a lot to you in your reading life. And so I thought through, and I'm trying to remember what was it, and it's just, all roads lead to Harry Potter. But my stories, I might be different than some people's stories, and it might be the same or similar. And so I remember I went to a Catholic school, and in 2nd grade my parents did not want me to read this, and I fully could have read this on my own in 2nd grade. Like, I had extra spelling words in 1st grade, like I was, like reading was what I was meant to do. So at that point other kids' parents were reading it to them, and mine wouldn't, and they wouldn't let me have the book, and I didn't have access. I probably could have had access to it, but I didn't feel or seem very interested in it. So 2nd grade passed, and that summer we went on family vacation to Hilton Head, and it was in a bookstore, and that was the summer, it was summer 2000, when Goblet of Fire was released, and they're just this display of this magnificent green cover, and it looked so interesting, and I'm like, I have to read these now. But I let that pass, and then I got to 3rd grade, and so I had finished a test early, and I needed to read a book just to stay silent and all that. So I went over to the bookshelf because I hadn't brought my own book that day, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it. And I read it, and I loved it, and I kept reading it, and I never looked back. And then this copy I have had since, let's see, made a note before I started this video. I have had this copy since 2001, and it is in like pristine condition because at the point that I won this, I had already read the book, so it's very, very nice. Oh, look how pretty. Gorgeous. But yeah, like looking back, I can't imagine my life without Harry Potter in it. It's been such a big part of my life as a reader, as a person. The only Funko Pop I have is Hermione, because she's like the one important one in my life. So, because at that point I didn't have any friends, and I read books, and I did school, and that was my thing. And there was nothing else. So yeah, I just kept reading. I remember reading, like, there's certain spots in my memory where I call back to when I was reading what book. I just remember reading Prisoner of Azkaban during a summer, and we were at a McDonald's parking lot. I'm like, it's so good. I'm freaking out because it's so good. But yeah, I don't know what I would do without Harry Potter, and it opened up my kind of, because naturally I should have seen the progression, because one of my favorite book series when I was little was Magic Tree House. No, I have not read every single one of them because they're still going, I think. So but at the Scholastic book orders I would get those were my favorites, and the Scholastic book fairs, like, that was my favorite time of school. Wasn't recess, although that was fun too, but the Scholastic book fair, anything to do with books, and that was because of Harry Potter. But even with the Magic Tree House and ordering from like the special back page of the Scholastic book order where they had like the special boxes where you keep getting books every month of it, Harry Potter just stands out because it literally has been with me for almost my entire life now, because, like, my memory's not the clearest of it. I can't remember what I ate that day, like that's forever ago. But there's certain spots in my memory that are intrinsically connected with this series. I have more information about my life and Harry Potter. Half-Blood Prince was the first book midnight release that I went to. I was finally caught up. It was my summer before 8th grade, and I went with a friend who was closer to my age. I missed the cutoff date in my state, so I was like a grade behind, but I was one of the oldest in my class. And I believe Order of the Phoenix was my first midnight release movie. But I do remember seeing the third movie in theaters just because of the Dementors, and we're like, before we went to go see it, I'm like, Dad, we have to bring chocolate. We can't go into this movie without chocolate. The timeline of these movies and the books, I found a website where it just shows this timeline, and I'm gonna show that now. And I just can't believe, like, the first book was released before I read it, but at the time, I was 6 years old. Not even. I think I was 5. I turned 6 that year. Yeah, I was 5 when these books were released. And I was 19. Yes, I was 19 when the last movie was released. So it's been with me for as long as I can remember now, and that's just, it's my life. And it's a lot of our lives. Like, we are the Harry Potter generation, and they talk about that, but it's a big deal. Like, and I know I'm not the only one that's gonna make this video about Harry Potter and these books and the movies and the merchandise and the theme park, which, let me tell you, was amazing. Of course, we get once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to go the summer before the new expansion was released. So I've not been able to ride on the Hogwarts Express or go through Gringotts or see the dragon on top of Gringotts, and I would dearly like to go one day. So, fingers crossed. So, my life. I loved how the cover wrapped around the back. Unicorn. It's just so wonderful. Number 4, Privet Drive. And I guess that's where I'm gonna end this. So, happy BookTubeAthon, and I can't wait for next year. Happy reading! I would have worn one of my Hogwarts shirts or nightgowns or whatnot. They're in the wash. So instead, I wore my NASA sweatshirt because today's NASA's birthday, and I would very much like a rocket to go to Pig Farms. Okay, so this video was my 7th Horcrux. Happy reading! I'm such a nerd, guys. I'm such a nerd.